Tonight, discussions over the site of a new desalination plant near Port Lincoln. And South Australian MPs return to Parliament amid a COVID-19 suspension.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Ruby Kamain begins now.
Good evening. A new committee has been formed on the Lower Eyre Peninsula in an attempt to find a location for the controversial desalination plant. The Water Security Reference Group coming together from all sectors of the region to find a solution.
The next big step for desalination on the Lower Eyre Peninsula. A committee of 20 members from across the region selected by an independent party, aiming to find a preferred site for the plant.
What we've been charged with essentially is within 4 or 5 months putting to the government and SA Water a preferred site on our terms at a community level for a desalination plant on the Eyre Peninsula.
Chaired by Peter Treloar, the committee gathering in a private meeting at the Port Lincoln Hotel. The group confident a solution can be reached midway through this year.
But the second meeting is also this week, Friday this week, so we're up and running. We're working to a fairly tight time frame. We need to have our preferred site to the government by the end of July or thereabouts.
It comes after community backlash from the previous proposed location at Billy Lights Point. However, the Environment and Water Minister believes they will get it right this time.
But we've got to get it right. I came here in November 2021 and realised there was a lot of angst around the proposed location for the desalination plant at Billy Lights Point. That had come after a previous move from Sleaford Bay.
The aim of the project is to improve drinking water security for the region. This committee offering a range of perspectives to achieve that goal.
The local councils, Tumby Bay, the Port Lincoln, the Lower Eyre Peninsula, they're represented. You've got tourism, the Regional Development Authority. All these different groups are represented around the table.
The desalination plant is expected to supply safe drinking water to around 35,000 SA Water customers. Minister Spears saying it's critical the site location is suitable to do so.
We know that this is contentious. We have to land the right position and place for this desalination plant, but we really would love a desalination plant to go ahead.
The committee plans to hold more scheduled meetings over the coming months. Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Most of South Australia's MPs returned to state parliament today after a period of suspension, aiming to convince the Premier to recall the lower house. The actions taken to try and pass proposed laws about alternative voting in the election via avenues like phones. Local independent MPs, including Jeff Brock, saying it is essential to have other ways of voting on election day, with many people forced into quarantine by the Omicron variant.
Even if you pass the bill this week, we cannot implement telephone voting for this particular election. The Labor Party knew that, the independents in the lower house knew that.
Liberal MPs did not make an appearance. A Labor candidate has outlined her plans to provide better educational opportunities to South Australians. Senator Karen Grogan promises to tackle high university costs and provide more than 400,000 free spots at TAFE if voted for in the upcoming federal election.
Back to school at a cheaper cost. Senator Karen Grogan wants more university and TAFE courses and is promising to make them affordable for every Australian, with some at no cost at all. Labor also planning to add an extra 20,000 university positions and dropping the price tag on those essential degrees if elected.
You are creating barriers for your ordinary everyday person to actually access when all you can see is, a debt the size of a house deposit.
More than 465,000 TAFE places would become free to fill the demand of workers needed in crucial sectors.
When we know that a significant proportion of jobs into the future are going to rely on a TAFE qualification. So, be that renewables, manufacturing, those kind of skills.
Courses in community services and in the care sector also to become free, with a big focus on training GPs in regional areas.
We're looking forward to, with this election, for the government actually stepping forward and saying we actually value doctors, we support recruitments, we like local initiatives that will actually change the dynamics.
Labor says attracting GPs to the region shouldn't be about money, but about better community services.
Training GPs, general practitioners, to work in the regional areas needs a serious look at.
Christian Komenos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Emergency relief is now available for local councils heavily affected by storms brought on by ex-tropical cyclone Tiffany. The funds coming from the joint Commonwealth State Disaster Recovery Funding Arrangement.
A major lifeline to the many councils across the Spencer Gulf hit hardest by unprecedented storms. The federal and South Australian governments announcing the availability of disaster assistance funding.
A lot of the councils have suffered heavy damage to their infrastructure. Probably the worst council is my own, where I live, near my own farm, where we actually had 240 mil of rain.
Local spots such as Kimber, Port Augusta and Whyalla, part of the 14 council areas eligible for repair funding. Late last month, ex-tropical cyclone Tiffany causing heavy damage brought on by severe thunderstorms and rainfall. Major flooding crippling the region.
There's silt over roads that need to be cleared. There's boulders here, there and everywhere. And that's the council property. Of course, on farms, there's fences washed out.
The damage causing a lengthy closure of the Stewart Highway from Coober Pedy to Pimba, preventing the delivery of essential goods to communities north of the highway closure. In a statement, Federal Emergency Management Minister Bridget McKenzie says they're standing side by side with South Australians and will provide further assistance once assessments have been made.
So it's a great relief to councils. I was pushing very hard with the state government to get the bid in early, even though they've got 3 months.
More information can be found on the National Recovery and Resilience Agency's website. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Still to come tonight, new buying restrictions hit Port Augusta bottle shops. And the Liberal candidate for Flinders calls for better road safety in Port Lincoln. We'll be back soon. Welcome back. New measures have come into place in Port Augusta bottle shops, restricting the amount of alcohol to purchase. The Liquor and Gambling Commissioner formally introducing the scheme, limiting the number of cask wine, fortified wine, port and spirit products able to be bought in one day. Photo identification is still required to make a purchase, and details will be retained by the licensee for the duration of the restrictions. A ban on sales also applying to anyone attending a bottle shop in a taxi, including the driver. Police are urging people to consider their personal safety when meeting strangers or people they have met online when buying or selling goods. It comes as SAPOL investigates 3 separate but similar incidents over a 2-day period where goods were stolen or attempted to be purchased fraudulently. Police also advise sellers and buyers to meet in a public place with CCTV and during daylight hours. A Liberal candidate for Flinders is calling for improved road safety throughout Port Lincoln. It comes as the state government provides funding for major upgrades across the Lower Eyre Peninsula.
Road safety becoming a priority concern. The state government providing funding for improved road networks.
It's exciting that we've seen an extra $125 million spent on the Eyre Peninsula on the road network. We've seen things like shoulder widening, overtaking lanes and intersection upgrades.
With the population of Port Lincoln on the rise, the Liberal candidate for Flinders says it's time to look to the future.
The population of Port Lincoln has grown over the last number of years, and there's more cars actually using these roads, and these roads are designed for a previous time. Now we need them to be modernised.
The closing of the railway putting pressure back on roads. Sam Telfer saying the road network in Port Lincoln needs to be up to the task.
It's absolutely fundamental that we make sure we concentrate on the areas which are going to get more use, and we have seen exacerbated issues with extra trucks on the roads. We need to make sure that the modern road network that we've got is actually going to be suitable for the future.
The focus now turned to the busy Port Lincoln streets.
I'm really calling on the state government to work closely with the City Council and community to look at these major roads. I'm talking about Liverpool Street, Mortlock Terrace, Veron Terrace and Porter Street here.
Henry Millick, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Broken Hills University Department of Rural Health has welcomed new nursing students to the Far West for placement. It's part of the extended nursing program, aiming to expose final year students to a broader range of healthcare settings.
Beginning careers in Broken Hill. 7 nursing students from the University of Sydney undertaking orientation this week before moving on to placement in the Far West and surrounds. So far, they are enjoying the Silver City.
It's been really great. It's been wonderful getting to know everybody and the team who've organised everything, getting to know Broken Hill a little bit better as well.
The Far West Nursing Program is a pilot, the first in a national trial, giving final year students a taste of working in real and remote settings, experience they wouldn't get in a metropolitan hospital, while addressing the health inequalities and workforce shortages in those areas.
I knew that it was quite a fly-in, fly-out area for other health professionals, so it's something I wanted to look into.
Students recommending the new program.
So far, it sounds like it's going to be a great program and a wonderful opportunity to get ahead and to experience life in the rural, remote area.
For more information, head to the Broken Hill University Department of Rural Health website. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. The push to bring more mental health workers to the Spencer Gulf. And funding announced to add some greenery to the entrance of Whyalla. Hello again. Lifeline is seeking more funding to provide Care Connect centres across the Yorke Peninsula and Mid-North. The support service says it needs more counsellors and support workers to help keep up with the demand as locals continue to wait for mental health services.
It can be a long wait to see someone about your mental health. Lifeline Broken Hill Copper to Coast preparing to open a Care Connect centre in Moonta, but more workers are needed to get it running. A centre is opening in Clare, where people can walk in off the street to receive support without having to wait, but the need extends across the region.
Last year we had 395 participants in the survey over a 4-week period right across the Yorke Peninsula, and only 31% of those said that they had good or very good mental health.
Lifeline says it needs federal and state funding to hire more support workers, so clients don't have to wait months for other mental health services.
The most important thing that we need is always funding, and the funding is relatively small compared to the outcome and that we get in communities.
The Greens say they're also committed to getting free mental health services through Medicare.
It's just advocating for more people to come down to our regions, to open up those positions, to make it accessible to everyone, but also affordable, because that's a large barrier as well.
Christian Komenos, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
North Broken Hill Cricket Club will be sporting pink uniforms instead of their usual blue throughout this month. The switch from their normal colours, aiming to raise money and awareness for breast cancer care support.
A different look from their traditional blue and white uniforms. North Broken Hill Cricket Club donning pink and white attire in the hopes to raise funds for cancer. The first time outside of the usual Pink Stumps Day. For the team, playing cricket and raising some money seemed like a valuable thing to do.
It was a bit of a group of students. There was a couple of us that really wanted to sort of do something for the community, not just play cricket.
The team setting up a GoFundMe page for Broken Hill-based hospital's oncology unit. Players also coming up with some ideas of raising funds themselves.
The players are starting to get involved. We've got like a little fine system, so if you don't make over a certain amount of runs, you're getting fined. If you drop a catch, it's a fine.
It's not only the A grade side wearing pink. Their B grade and women's sides also following suit.
Just happy to take donations. To start with, we thought about just raising awareness, but then we thought it's a good thing to try and raise a little bit of money as well. All the money will stay local.
To get on board and donate, you can find a link to the GoFundMe page on the team's Facebook, or type in North Broken Hill Cricket Club Pink February. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Visitors who enter Whyalla from the north will soon be greeted with a greener entrance. The City Council is only one of 2 regional towns in South Australia to receive funding from the Greener Neighbourhoods program.
A pleasing welcome for visitors to Whyalla entering from Iron Knob. The Whyalla City Council, a recipient of this round of funding from the Greener Neighbourhoods program.
Council has put $72,500 towards its tree program for this year, and we've been able to partner with the state government to double that amount of money for our city.
The program will match those funds used for a project to beautify the entrance to McDowell Stewart Avenue. 200 gum trees set to be planted on each side, providing additional shade from those travelling from the north.
It's really going to improve the green canopy that our city has, and the other effect that will have is it will reduce the amount of urban heat that's being generated by the bitumen roads.
In a statement, Environment Minister David Spears says the grants will help make regional centres more livable and contribute to climate resilience. Cyclists and pedestrians will also benefit from the improvement works.
We also intend to put a walking trail, a shed walking trail and bike path meandering through the trees, and this will be a bike path that will be able to link up with the rest of our road network.
Tenders will be available soon for contractors who want to participate in the project. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us after the break. We'll bring you the latest prices at petrol pumps across the regions. And Alex Sykes will join us with the weather details. See you again soon. Welcome back. Motorists will be furious when filling up this week, with fuel prices in our region continuing to soar. The RAA says while the wholesale price of fuel has now stabilised, events overseas could still push prices up. With a look at how things are shaping up in our backyard, here's Edward McCarroll with this week's Fuel Watch.
The average price of unleaded in our region has left motorists seeing red. It's looking like we're on a slippery slope heading back to those sky-high pre-pandemic prices. As you can see, things are looking bleak in our region this week, with not a single green arrow in sight. Prices in every corner going up, most by about 6 cents a litre. The prices today ranging from $1.70 in Port Lincoln to $1.74 in Whyalla. Over the border in Broken Hill, it's hard to watch, but prices continue to rise, sitting at $1.77. And it looks like you won't even be able to fill up for cheap on your way back from South Australia's capital this weekend, with a dramatic 19-cent price increase. Taking a look at diesel, and it's the same story. Price increases right across the board by about 5 cents a litre, meaning everywhere has now bypassed the $70 mark. Whyalla is bang on $1.75 per litre, Port Augusta $1.73, Port Pirie $1.72, and Broken Hill is the most expensive at $1.76. Adelaide's price increase is pretty on par with what we are seeing in our region. Bringing things home with autogas, where things are looking a little bit calmer. Port Pirie being the one exception, up from $1.11 a litre to $1.18. Whyalla and Broken Hill also seeing prices rise this week, whereas everywhere else remains the same. Even if that is at the steeper end of things, in locations like Port Augusta, with $1.21. Adelaide is your best bet at the moment, being the only place where you will find autogas under $1 currently. Now remember, these prices are the regional average and do not reflect any one particular outlet. If you do see unleaded, diesel or autogas for cheaper, please let us know through our Facebook page.
Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather. Here's Alex Sykes.
Thanks, Ruby, and good evening, everyone. The weather well and truly clear today from yesterday's showers, and I'm pleased to report that these conditions are here to stay. The weekend shaping up to be a hot and sunny one. But first, a closer look at today's conditions. At 3 p.m, Port Lincoln was partly cloudy and 23. Broken Hill was mostly sunny and reached 33. And Port Pirie was partly cloudy and 28. Looking further out across the region now, Port Augusta was mostly sunny and also reached 28. While at Kadina, Clare and Cleve were all partly cloudy and 24. Woodner was partly cloudy and 28. Adelaide reached 23 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, patchy cloud in South Australia's south is becoming confined to the southeast as cool southerly winds ease, causing light showers to mostly clear. Bright looking high jet stream cloud in the east is leaving without bringing any rain. Skies are becoming generally clear in the wets and far north. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. South to southwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, seas 1 to 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell below 1 metre. A marine wind warning remains current for all of South Australia. Port Lincoln and Cleve will be partly cloudy tomorrow, both set to reach a high of 23 degrees. Cloud clearing in Woodner with 30 degrees. Cloud also clearing in Whyalla and 25. Port Augusta will be mostly sunny and is set to reach 28 degrees there. Kadina is set to top at 27. Port Pirie will get to 29, cloud clearing with Clare, and it's set to reach 25 degrees there. And Broken Hill will be sunny with a high of 31. Taking a look further through the week now, sunny across most of the region. Tomorrow, Port Augusta and Broken Hill will reach 31, Woodna 33, partly cloudy in Port Lincoln with 24 degrees, a high of 35 in Cooper Pedy. Port Pirie will get to 32. The sunny conditions will continue into Saturday with temperatures warming up. Very hot and sunny in Woodna and Cooper Pedy, both a high of 38, Port Augusta to reach 37, Port Lincoln 28. Heating up again on Sunday with partly cloudy conditions in most parts. Cooper Pedy will be very hot and mostly sunny and 41 degrees. Port Augusta is set to reach a high of 40. Sunny in Broken Hill with 39 degrees. Port Pirie and Woodna also set to reach 39. Whyalla and Kadina 35. And Port Lincoln will get to 30 degrees. Well, it's certainly perfect beach weather this weekend, Ruby. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. It's back to you.
Great, thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later. Until then, enjoy your evening. The team will return tomorrow to bring you your local news. Good night.